Joseph, I appreciate that. We know you got good insights on the Sharks and A's. I want to hear your thoughts on the NBA, watching the playoffs and got a pick. So when I'm at the office, inherently, basketball's always on. It's a crazy thing. I grew up playing and loving basketball. You ought to see my jumper. You ought to see my crossover. You ought to see me at the free throw line, by the way. I'm still cold right now. I could hit 7 out of 10 right now. And if I was playing every day, I'm a 9 out of 10 guy. I just have to drive to the hoop, get fouled, and there you go, 2 free points. So I don't, and I know there's animosity towards Kevin Durant, how the Nets got built. What I don't like about the league entirely is how star players basically got to craft their teams. Now, I'm not against players. I want to see players do well. I want to see players be able to have personality and kind of dictate the sport a little bit. But I feel like it crosses the line a little bit when, Kevin Durant's like, I want to play with him. I want to go out and get him. I don't like him. Don't get him, but get him. I mean, I don't know. Could you imagine a baseball team or a hockey team or a football team being like that? And I guess, does Gronk follow Tom Brady around everywhere? Maybe that's like that too. Maybe I'm off in that. I don't know. And I guess it kind of started with LeBron and everybody, coming down to Miami and doing that. Then the Lakers copied that. And I don't know, did the Warriors copy that too? But, you would have to say that Steph and Draymond and Clay got drafted separately. And then they kind of pursued, they all went to the Hamptons, right, to pursue Kevin Durant. So maybe they're part of it too. Anyway, I don't have a pick. I'm sorry. I don't know enough about the fine details and all this. I think it's interesting that, LeBron's out of it. Some of the biggest basketball names are not going to be. Steph's out of it. Was the first time there's no LeBron and no Steph in in 10 years, I want to say, that neither of them will be playing for the NBA title at the end. So hockey's like that too. A lot of the star players are out of contention. So it's interesting who's going to ultimately win it. I wish I had a pick for you. I really do. But I'm boring. I am watching here and there. I'm watching the highlights, but I can't even tell you I have a team anymore. I mean, in the mix. Clearly I would want the Warriors to do it, but they're not. So, and I also think I digress. The way they had the play-in format this year, that was interesting. It's kind of like the wild card game of baseball, times 2 almost. And the Warriors lost both those games. And I did watch those games, heartbreakers. Honestly, both of them. To think that they could have had a grasp on both those games and couldn't finish it off. But at the same respect, you're literally down Klay Thompson. And when he comes back, he's going to be a couple years older than the last time we saw him. He's going through multiple, literally a knee and an Achilles. Is that right? Yikes. I hope they can rebuild. I hope they can retool, make another push. I mean, what Steph did this year, that's impressive. You always say, well, look who he's surrounded by. Okay. Now look who he's surrounded by. And it's no disrespect to a Wiggins or a JTA. You like that knowledge right there? It's no disrespect to these other guys, but when you're not shoulder to shoulder with some of the best and you still are your best, I think that says a lot.